Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of season 2 for Film And. I am Connor, and I'm once again joined by my good friend Dan.
Howdy.
And if you listened to last week's, you know that we talked about the Oscars.
Yes.
And this week we're talking about the award show that actually matters, the Andes.
The Andes, the
those of
award
you-
show
Yeah,
from Film And.
the show you are currently listening to.
Yes, it is all personal award show where we give, well, this week specifically, nominations in 10 different categories relating to film.
And
No,
just film.
just film.
Just film specifically from the 2019 year.
Yep, and they are our own opinions, and we
Yes.
will talk about them, and we will have a good time.
Yes, and obviously the nominee pools are movies that me and Dan have seen, not things we've both seen. There's
Yes.
movies on here that I have not seen and stuff you have not seen.
Yep.
But I guess specifically performances.
Yes.
But there's films only that we have watched. So if you look at my Letterboxd and you look at Dan's Letterboxd and you see stuff that's not there, that's not on this list, that means we didn't see it and thus was not eligible. I know like 3 people listen to this show, but if 2 of you have a problem, please don't take it out on me. I'm sorry. If the movie you wanted to be here is not here, I apologize. Like Dan said, it is me and his opinions. This is a voting academy of 2 people.
2.
So
Uno, dos.
uno, dos. So we're gonna start with the first category.
This
I
is
guess,
this is
of the
all
10.
own imagined category.
Yes.
This is a special Andes category
Yes,
only.
it's best production, which is combines. I said that weird. It combines production design, hair and makeup, and costume design into one category simply called best production.
Yes.
So the nominees are Rocketman, Little Women, Us, 1917, and Greener Grass.
Those are some great picks.
Some great picks. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you for that, Connor.
And Greener Grass is one that I fought for to be on this list.
Yeah.
Which, coincidentally enough, I checked Hulu yesterday. It is now on Hulu.
Really?
So if you want to check out Greener Grass
I'm good
and
because
see what I was talking about.
This is the only one I haven't seen.
Yes.
In this category, and I really want to see it. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. This category is pretty easy. We debated on whether or not Joker should take Greener Grass's spot. But I very much fought for Greener Grass because I do think the costume design and hair and makeup in that is amazing.
And I was very much in support of Greener Grass over Joker, at least. And what were some of the categories we agreed on, or at least some of the names we agreed on? We agreed on Us, we agreed on Little Women,
and Rocketman.
Yes. And then 1917 was kind of my pull.
Yeah.
I wanted just production, because if you just look at the costumes in that picture, you look at the set design in that picture.
Exactly.
It's
the
pretty
big thing
immaculate.
for like with Greener Grass, the production design is good, but for me, the costuming and hair and makeup is where that really excels. I think for 1917, it's the other way around, where I would say the production design, like building the trenches and all that stuff, is where that film excels and thus deserves a nomination in this category.
Yeah.
So I guess ready to move on, Dan.
Next
Do you want to
up,
present best visual effects?
Best visual effects. The nominees are Gemini Man, Alita Battle Angel, Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, Lion King, and Dr. Sleep.
Yes. Which a lot of these are very different from the Academy Awards. I believe the only ones that are the same are Rise of Skywalker and Lion King.
And Lion King, yes.
Yes.
Connor, what were some of our thoughts behind this category?
I mean, there was ones I wanted to keep. I think Alita has to be there. Dr. Sleep was kind of a last-minute addition. I think that movie is kind of underappreciated in certain elements, like the visual effects.
Yeah.
There were some we tussled on a little bit. As much as I love Gemini Man, I think the VFX do kind of lack in big areas of that film.
I think, at least when I consider Gemini Man, it's really easy to look at the 1 or 2 major glaring issues when there's so few pivotal things that movie rests on, which is Will Smith's face and the use of Will Smith's face.
Yeah. Will Smith Jr.
With motion and Junior and just the lighting and like the mastery that has to come through that. So, but I didn't want to forget the 95% of that movie that was really well done.
That's true, yeah.
You know, I mean, I still remember just going right off of that. We watched it 3D, 60 frames per
3D,
second.
60 frames per second. The best way to see Gemini Man.
The best way, no joke. It made me enjoy the movie way more. And I still remember one of those opening shots of the train coming through that like mega fisheye, and I was just blown away. And just, I guess, Ang Lee's, some of his instincts when it came to visual effects, and just making some cool stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess there's no really like surprises on this list, I guess. And Doctor Sleep could be a surprise, but it's not like one where it's like people are gonna fight us on, I don't think.
Yeah.
Lion King, as much as I don't really like that movie and I think it looks kind of ugly, what they did accomplish with the complete CG animation is a feat.
I think it's like I have an issue with a lot of the remakes Disney's putting out, where I could see Jungle Book as a remake feels like it makes sense. You know, that the original animated movie, it's a bit rough around the edges. It has some weird stuff. It could use some updating. And I actually kind of enjoyed the Jungle Book remake. But you look at Lion King, the original Lion King still holds up to this day.
Yeah.
It didn't need a reboot.
No. I would argue none of them needed reboots. But this isn't the Disney Reboot podcast, which I could definitely do that because I have many thoughts. Some are very hot takes.
Yes.
And then Star Wars, despite that movie having a lot of hot takes surrounding it currently, I do think it does deserve a Best VFX nomination.
Yeah, it's still well done. It's still in the A game of all the visual effects movies out there. You know, it's Lucasfilm. They've always had that be at the forefront.
The funny thing is, since these are our picks, there's not much contention to them.
No.
So there's not much for us to debate. It's just like, you liked it, so did I.
We both just agreed on these.
That's insane, dude. We both liked this movie, and thus it got a nomination at our award show.
Whoa.
Bonkers, dude.
This is the greatest award show ever.
Sorry I peaked doing my, like, bro voice. I apologize, friends. So I guess we'll move on to the next category, which is Best Cinematography.
Cinematography.
And then, Dan, do you have the cinematographers' names written on your sheet?
I do not.
I do, so I'll present this one. Okay, first of all is The Lighthouse, Jaron Blashky. The Last Black Man in San Francisco, Adam Newport-Barrera. Parasite, Kyung Pyo-hong. Midsommar, Pal Podorowski. And 1917, Roger Deakins. So no big surprise. Actually, here's the thing. If you're looking at the Oscars, a lot of big surprises here.
Well, if you're comparing us to
Yes, because I believe the only ones we have in common are Parasite and 1917.
Yep. That is, I believe that's true.
Yeah. Which, if you guys have not seen The Lighthouse or The Last Black Man in San Francisco or any of these movies, but I feel like those are the two that least people have seen. I feel like Parasite's gotten a big boost, and reasonably so.
Well, it's definitely deserving of it.
Oh, it's definitely deserving. It's just crazy in South Korea has been making movies for 100 years. Yeah, cut that out.
North Korea has been making movies for 100 years.
Yeah, cut that out. But
Connor Randolph, 2020.
No, but South Korea, it's crazy because South Korea has been making films for 100 years. They just celebrated their centennial this year. So it's crazy that in 100 years, and the Academy Awards being present for, I believe this is their 94th year, 93rd, 94th year.
Yeah.
The fact that in those 94 years, there's not been a South Korean film nominated for Best Foreign Film is insane.
Well, when did Best Foreign Film?
That's true. That did start
as
later.
As a category. It didn't start for a couple decades, I think.
But regardless, within let's say 30 years, that is nuts.
That means it's still been 65 years.
Yes,
and that's
exactly.
Redonk.
Crazy. But we and Dan didn't record an episode of The Lighthouse last season, but it's one we both adored. And the cinematography in that film is amazing. Even watching it at home on a much smaller screen, it still holds up dramatically. Even on I watched a little bit on my laptop. It looks immaculate on a laptop.
That is
The Lighthouse looks amazing. Same thing with Last Black Man. I saw it on my laptop. The movie is exceptionally beautiful. And that movie is currently on Prime, along with that and Midsommar. So if you have not yet checked out these movies, please give it a chance. So The Lighthouse just recently came out on Blu-ray. I believe since that is A24, that'll be on Prime within a month or two. I hope.
Should be, yeah.
I hope. But yes.
I think a big part of us coming on here and saying, hey, go watch these movies, go see these, go support these filmmakers and their performances and all this and all that. I think it's really important. You look back and you say, how are a lot of these people going to see it? They're not going to go to theaters. This is 2, 3, 4, 6 months after these have come out in theaters. They're going to be on streaming services. And the fact that movies like The Lighthouse can have such a good transition from the big screen to the little screen right on your lap, right on your TV at home is so important when it comes to like transferring that story to a smaller setting, to a more intimate setting. So you really have to appreciate when something is still as high quality like that. So that's really good to hear.
And that's a testament to the cinematography that it works on such a low screen. Because not to cast shade on another film, but a film I saw in the theater and I adored that I watched on a smaller screen, it doesn't have nearly the same impact as Gravity.
Oh,
I feel like that's somewhat of a detachment from that, where I feel like I've only seen The Lighthouse and Last Black Man on a smaller screen, but I have a feeling each of these 5 nominees would look just as amazing on a small screen as it did in the theater because they're that immaculately crafted.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Dan, ready
Next
to move
up
on
is Best Score. The Lighthouse, Mark Morgan. Uncut Gems, Onio Tricks Point Never. Marriage Story, Randy Newman. Midsummer, Bobby Kurlich. And Little Women, Alexandre Desplat.
Yes.
Desplat.
So
Desplat.
We agreed on 2 of these, I think. No, 3. We agreed on Uncut Gems, Marriage Story, and Little Women.
Yes.
Yes. And Midsummer and Lighthouse were both ones you fought for.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I wanted Parasite and something else. That proves that you made the right. I wanted Star Wars. I wanted Parasite and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which you were not for my choices there.
Star Wars, really, man?
It's iconic, I know.
They copy paste.
I know.
For 30 years.
I know. I let the imagery, I guess not imagery, the soundscape of Star Wars cloud my judgment.
All right.
I can attest that I was a bad choice.
When we do an audio editing category, you can have that.
Yes, exactly. But no, we're going to talk about winners, obviously, in the future.
Yes.
But for me, the greatest score on this list is Alexandre Desplat's Little Women. That score is like electric to me. I use it to write the entirety of my latest screenplay. So it has a place in my heart.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like when I look at each of these, I appreciate them for totally different reasons, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's very interesting how these scores pair with the movies that they've been that they're on. Like Lighthouse really is like when I was listening to it, it's one of the few scores that like it's a bit boilerplate, suspense, horror. Like it does some of those tropes, but it does things very uniquely as well. Like you can hear that the sonic palette is so different from what you hear usually.
Exactly.
You know?
And when it's paired with the film, it works exceptionally well.
Exactly.
Out of context, it kind of seems a little off, but the second you pair it with the visuals, it's insane.
It just clicks together.
Yeah.
Uncut Gems, Onio Tricks Point Never has been making the music for Safdie films for years
I
now.
have Daniel Lapitan. Is that his real name?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Onio Tricks Point Never is like...
That makes sense.
The artist. It's the moniker. But yeah, for that, I think it's probably the best example of Onio Tricks Point Never pairing really well with Uncut Gems. Like if you're talking something like Good Time, I think I would be less inclined to give it to that because the scores are very similar in each one of their movies.
Yeah.
It's not crazy different, but this one I think is the best. Randy Newman, Marriage Story, it's pretty much just a string quartet, and the intimacy of that is so powerful. The way it just brings you into the moment. It's such a rounding, circular feeling. You know, you're just in the room with these people. You hear this music, and it's very peaceful as well, which I think is something that is such an interesting contrast that it brings in with this idea of like a very somewhat emotionally violent divorce.
Yeah.
You know? Midsummer, just bone shattering, quivering, shaking in my boots kind of music. That finale, the music makes it.
Exactly.
You know, like I preferred the ending to Hereditary, which is director Ari Aster's first picture, or full-length feature. Yes. But Midsummer's ending, just the music makes it. I can't get it out of my head sometimes. It's magnificent. And then obviously Little Women with Alexandre Desplat, who is just so many good movies, so many good scores. If anyone could get a career Oscar for score or a career Andy for score, I'd give it to Alexandre Desplat.
I mean, considering John Williams isn't on our list, yes, he would be the one to get the career Andy. Our first career Andy.
Our first career Andy in our first year of existence of us doing this. But also, his music pairs so well with Little Women as well. It's really, as a musician, it's so hard for me to choose between any of these scores, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of me not being sonically talented, let's go to a break. See you guys soon.
Being around too much loud noise like a leaf blower or rock concert can cause permanent hearing loss. And once it's gone, you can't get it back. Hearing loss is the third most common chronic health condition in the U.S. Almost twice as many people report hearing loss as diabetes or cancer. The louder a sound is, and the longer you're exposed to it, the more likely it will damage your hearing. Repeated exposure to noise can cause stress, anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, heart disease, and many other problems. Hearing loss from loud noise at home and in the community can be prevented. Avoid noisy places. Use earplugs, protective earmuffs, or noise-canceling headphones when near loud noises. Keep the volume down when watching TV or listening to music and using earbuds or headphones. Get your hearing checked and ask your healthcare provider how to protect your hearing from noise. To learn more, visit cdc.gov/vital signs.
Hey guys, welcome back to Film and. We're going to dive right back into the Annie nominations with Best Supporting Actress.
We are now in the top 5.
Top 5 categories.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Dan, I guess I'll read this one out loud.
Oh, top 6 categories.
Top 6, yeah.
Nuts.
We have Best Supporting Actress, which is Rebecca Ferguson for Dr. Sleep, Florence Pugh for Little Women, Zhao Shenzhen for The Farewell, Thomasin McKenzie for Jojo Rabbit, and Sodam Park for Parasite.
Oh, some heavy hitters in this one.
Some very heavy hitters. I mean, the obvious surprises, and the ones that are not at the Oscars, are Rebecca Ferguson, Zhao Zhen, Thomasin McKenzie, and Sodam Park.
So 4 of them are surprises.
Yeah, so 4 of the 5. The only one who stayed was Florence.
Again, these are personal picks.
Yeah, exactly. Which Rebecca Ferguson is the big, everyone shook. I shouldn't say everyone shook.
Everyone who we were talking to was like,
what are you talking about?
Is she on this list? I'm like, because we saw Dr. Sleep. And
she's really good in Dr. Sleep. She's amazing in Dr. Sleep. Thomasin McKenzie was a huge standout.
We saw JoJo together.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Thomasin McKenzie, I think, does a really good job at playing such a subtle role.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. Like, I think back to that movie, and I think, Thomasin McKenzie wasn't in it too much.
No, she wasn't.
Because she never left the house. You never saw her really.
Yeah.
And even just from that kind of confined space, it's amazing performance.
Exactly. And then Zhao Shenzhen, which I hope I'm saying her name right. She plays Nai in The Farewell.
Nai.
Amazing. It is such a bummer she didn't make this list. And also, if you listen to the Oscars show, you're probably listening to me right now and being like, Connor is such a hypocrite. Where is Jennifer Lopez? I fought for Jennifer Lopez. I couldn't quite get her past Dan.
Nope.
But so me and the Oscars are just at fault. So I tried my best, though. I'm sorry, Jennifer. I tried.
For me, I know J-Lo was your pick.
Yeah.
And who was my pick? I don't even know what my pick was. I mean, most of these are just kind of like in the middle. But
yeah, we agreed. And you haven't seen Parasite yet. So
I haven't seen Parasite, but I felt more comfortable putting Sodam Park on here above J-Lo because I haven't seen Hustlers or Parasite.
That's right. You haven't seen Hustlers yet. That's right.
Well, no. Fun fact. I've seen like the last 90 seconds of Hustlers. Yeah. I walked
You've seen them dancing.
I saw them dancing. That's it. I have no context.
Okay.
And I need context.
So we'll move on from this category to Best Supporting Actor. And do you want to read these out, Dan?
Yeah. We have Some great picks. We have Willem Dafoe for The Lighthouse, Alan Alda for Marriage Story, Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Jonathan Majors, Last Black Man in San Francisco, and Sam Rockwell for Jojo Rabbit.
And obviously, the big surprises here are Sam Rockwell, Jonathan Majors, and Alan Alda. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, if you've not seen Last Black Man in San Francisco, Jonathan Majors, who plays Mont, is outstanding. He is brilliant. So I implore you, like I said, it is on Amazon Prime. Watch it because it's a genius motion picture, but also because Jonathan Majors is a genius in said genius motion picture.
And if you listened to last week's episode, we discussed two of these names already.
Yeah.
A la Willem Dafoe and Sam Rockwell, which were two names we both wished were on the Oscar list, but we're putting on this one because they were easily, some of our favorite performances.
I mean, Sam Rockwell and Thomasin McKenzie, both supporting parts in JoJo, like made that film for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were outstanding.
The Alk of Sam Rockwell, who he kind of starts off as like a cynical comedic relief character, but you just kind of see his pulp grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
You start to wonder, what is this building towards? Yeah. And then it reaches the end.
Yeah, this very subtle emotional growth.
You want to cry.
You want to cry. I did.
Cry, and Connor does cry.
No, it's very good.
Oh my goodness.
And then Alan Alda from Marriage Story, exceptional, talented actor, obviously from all the way back from MASH in the 70s. Incredibly talented guy.
Absolutely.
We tussled a little bit with Ray Liotta, but we did settle on Alan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, nothing else really to say here. Willem Dafoe is outstanding. Obviously, Brad Pitt has won every single Guild Award, so you're aware that he's very good in that movie.
He is.
There's not much to say there about Brad.
Which is, I'll just touch upon what I said last week, just to reiterate that. I mean, he was one of my most likable characters of the year, and I'm not against awarding that. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, rewarding that performance, because it is very... It's just a lighthearted cinematic experience for me, which I just appreciate.
Okay, so Dan, we're gonna start Best Actress with a
Actress.
very controversial choice to start.
Excuse me, not at all controversial, because these are some of the best actresses.
Yes, here's the thing. If you ask me, Haley Lou Richardson for 5 Feet Apart, Caitlin Dever for Booksmart, Beanie Feldstein for Booksmart, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, and Lupita Nyong'o, Us. I said controversial because I had to fight tooth and nail for Haley Lou Richardson.
Yes, you fought and I fought quite hard to keep both Booksmart protagonists in this list, because they both deserve it so equally. I couldn't put one as supporting, couldn't put one as lead. It was both or neither, and they both made it in. Beanie, Caitlin, I know you are two of our listeners, so thank you for putting down a great performance.
Can you imagine if there's no way?
Could you imagine?
There's no way. Because if you guys do listen, come to the award show.
Yeah.
So yeah, big surprises here. Obviously, are Haley Lou and the two Booksmart girls. Lupita is not really a surprise. She was kind of towards the tail end of Oscar consideration. Mm-hmm. I think she was actually right behind Cynthia Erivo in a lot of discussions.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that Lupita's the one who didn't make it, and Cynthia did end up taking that spot. Okay, so ready, Dan? Move on to Best Actor in a Motion Picture.
Actor. Let's do it, guys. We have Robert Pattinson for The Lighthouse, Brad Pitt for Ad Astra, Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, and Shia LaBeouf for Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yes, and I told you earlier, and if you know me personally, you know I've been saying this entire year, I started saying Shia LaBeouf gives the performance of the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was fine with that because I appreciated all of those performances.
Yes.
So I guess the two that we both kind of had to have some discussion about and agree on was Brad Pitt and Adam Sandler.
Yes.
Which were already two on my list. I think
Adam
everyone
Sandler
here except Shia was just on my list.
Yeah, Adam Sandler was the bottom of my short list.
Same.
But he made it to me and made it for ours. And then I've yet to see Ad Astra. But I've heard from you and a lot of people close to me whose opinions I very much trust that he is amazing in the film.
I do really like Brad Pitt's performance, it gave me pause when I realized we were putting 2 Brad Pitt
Yeah.
nominations on this
Which is
Andy's list,
funny
but he
'cause
deserves them for both.
Do you know whose
so
spot he took on
not
this
against
Best
it.
Actor list, coincidentally enough?
Who?
He took Leo's spot for Once Upon a Time.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. No regrets. And nothing against Leo. Just no regrets.
Yeah. I think that's Once Upon a Time only has 2 nominations. It's Brad and
Yeah.
production. That's very interesting.
I keep moving on, I guess.
I mean, we can move on. I mean, is there anything else you want to say?
I mean, if there's anything else I want to say for Best Actor, it's that they all deserve it.
It's these
so
movies.
hard to choose.
Yeah.
You know?
If you have not yet seen Marriage Story or The Lighthouse, Peanut Butter Falcon, or Uncut Gems, or any of these movies, or Red Astor in general, obviously Marriage Story is a Netflix original. I'm pretty sure you have Netflix, so if you do, watch Marriage Story. If you haven't, it is amazing.
And then watch it again.
And watch it again. And then, so you won Best Director.
Yeah.
So Best Director, we have Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story, Jordan Peele, Us, Robert Eggers for The Lighthouse, and Sam Mendes for 1917.
Yeah, I think Best Director, great choices. I hate saying that so much, but they're just our choices, you know?
The only thing I regret, especially because we already said at the Oscars, I do wish we could have found space for Greta Gerwig for Little Women.
Greta Gerwig for Little Women.
And because, for one, she's amazing. This isn't even a thing where it's I'm trying to force diversity on our award show. It's a thing where it's legitimately Greta Gerwig does give one of the best directorial performances of the year. It's just I do feel that Bong Joon-ho, Noah Baumbach, Jordan Peele, Robert Eggers, and Sam Mendes are slightly up there. Despite Little Women being my second favorite film of the year, I do feel like what Sam Mendes did with 1917, Robert Eggers did for Lighthouse, Us, particularly the sequence with the ballerina, is insane. So, yeah. I would have liked to have her on this list, but it just didn't work out, which is kind of a bummer. But
I mean, for me, I look at each of these movies, and I see Little Women as a best picture.
Yes.
But when I look at the specific directorial choices that were made, or the directorial risks that were taken, I put Noah Baumbach slightly above that, because Noah Baumbach was my 5th slot here on my list here.
Yeah.
And Greta Gerwig was pretty much bouncing around that same. I think she was my 6th. So it is a hard cut.
Which is funny enough, this is my entire list with the exception of Gerwig, because Peele took Gerwig's spot.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much my list. So not really much to say about director. Obviously, if you have yet to see these films, you should check out these films.
I mean, Parasite, just for breaking onto the Western mainstream. Us being an amazing just follow up from Get Out.
Another societal thriller.
And oh man, you really have to appreciate Jordan Peele and his I guess dedication to just telling a great story and putting detail and just caring about telling a great story.
Exactly.
You know?
And speaking of great stories, Dan, the big one.
The big one, guys.
The
we're
best
here.
picture.
We made it.
So the best picture nominees, we'll go round robin for this one because it's
okay.
So
wait, but they're not the same order on our list.
Okay.
How do we do that?
So I'll just announce.
I'll just do it off of your list.
Okay, ready? So number 1, the first nomination, The Lighthouse.
Number 2, Little Women.
Number 3, Marriage Story.
Number 4, Parasite.
Number 5, The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Number 6, 1917.
And number 7, Jojo Rabbit. And guys, they're numbered for no specific reason. Do not take that into it. The Lighthouse is not guaranteed to win Best Picture. Whether or not it may or may not, that is up to me and Dan at a later date, probably a week from now.
I don't know why you're focusing in on The Lighthouse. It honestly might, but I'm trying to think right now. I'm thinking I really
it's
don't know what to choose.
Because coincidentally enough, my favorite movie of the year was Marriage Story. And yours is 1917.
My favorite is
so
1917.
Obviously, we're not going to pick our favorite movie of the year.
Well, whoa, don't say that, because now it's been limited down to 5, and now we don't know.
What I'm saying is, we're not. It's not like 1917 is both of our favorites of the year, where it's like, yeah, guys, 1917 is gonna win because it's both our favorite movies of the year.
Guys, but trust me, don't worry, my 1917 fans out there, I will convince Connor. He'll
fight
happen.
for it. Us, Bomback boys. and us little women out there. We're going to fight. But thank you guys for listening to the first ever Andy nominations.
Yes. Please listen in next week. We will announce the winners of the Andes. You can't miss out on this.
And
We'll talk more about why we picked, who we picked, and just
and then
have some good discussion.
If you are any of the nominees, please come and DM me on Instagram.
Visit. We will have sparkling apple cider for you if you request it.
So much free water. I'll get you a cheeseburger at the cafeteria.
It's very nice. Here
you
in
get
Burlington,
a
Vermont.
certificate that says I won an Andy.
We will print you out a certificate,
dude, with your name on it and everything. So thank you guys for listening. Come back next week, like Dan said, for the winners. I'm Connor once again. This is my good friend Dan. If you want to follow what we talk about here on Film and, follow me on Letterboxd at Crandberry18. That is CRAND Berry 18. See you guys next week for